And we're right back. I literally just had to, because sometimes, like, if I'm recording for too long periods of time, my computer will kind of tweak out a little bit. And I just didn't want it to be a huge file for me to edit in DaVinci Resolve when I finish doing this. So we're in the final chapter. We're about to give Bunny a nice visit and get some revenge, hopefully.
Wish me luck. If I'm not out here in a few minutes, call the authorities.
I don't know the authorities can help at this point.
I don't know what to say to her. What is there to even say?
You bitch. You don't give a damn about your son or my mom.
All of this stigma was coming from her the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
If we can come to an understanding.
Actually, hold on. I'm gonna pause this real quick and relaunch the game just because I'm starting to see that. I guess every time I stop and start a new recording, that's when I'm seeing the glitches. So I'm gonna pause this real quick and I'll just cut to the video. All right, and we are back. We about to pay Bunny a visit. I had to restart the game because sometimes it'll tweak whenever I just go right into recording a new segment. So let's go ahead and see what awaits us at Flood Mansion.
Not out here in a few minutes, call the authorities.
And we're back in Prospero.
I don't know what to say to her. What is there to even say?
Honestly, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, she pushed you off a cliff, almost killed you while you're trying to search for your mom, and then used you. And was partly responsible for her kid dying. Yeah, she's the devil.
To an understanding, maybe all of this will clear up.
It won't happen, bro. You gotta put that bitch in the ground, bro. Screw this woman.
All right.
She abandoned you. She don't check up on you. She don't give a damn about you at all.
Lily? Are you back? How did you? Oh, you're more powerful than I thought.
Is that Molly's heart?
Why didn't it work? It should have brought Sherry back.
You can't bring back the dead.
You did something, didn't you? That's why the magic failed.
No, you
I
bitch.
heard your baby spirit crying. In a tree. She was in pain. I did everything I could to help her.
In pain? Or just in your way? You have no idea what loss feels like. When Cherie drowned, I was so raw it hurt to breathe. I'd see cars with those baby on board signs and just want to ram them.
That is not a normal response to trauma, bro. What the fuck?
Don't deserve their kids who beat them right in the middle of a store. Why are their children still alive and not my Cherie?
I can't imagine what it's like to lose a child. But the things you've done ain't right.
Everything I'd done was for Cherie. You had no right to tamper with her spirit.
You had no right. You've hurt everyone around you. You murdered Molly.
I don't want to hear this.
You need to change to make up for what you've done.
I can't. I don't even know what to live for anymore.
I don't feel for these sorry ass tears, man. You didn't even give a damn about your son.
There is a way you can see Cherie again.
I don't believe in heaven if you came here to kill me.
No. But there is a town for folks who can't move on. Or won't. You can't do any more harm there. But think it through, Bunny. I've seen what happens to folks who can't let go of the past. Your choice.
Cherie's baby brush. She was so tender-headed, I'd get cross with her. Now I'd give anything to brush her hair again.
Oh, there he is.
And you can, my darling.
I know who you are. It won't really be her.
You'll never be able to tell the difference, I promise.
I won't.
That's pathetic.
You're very kind.
That's sad, bro.
There's a fine line between mercy and justice. Ain't that right, Hazel Flood?
Mm.
You chose a hard road for yourself.
I know.
I wonder if this will clear the stigma. Okay. I feel bad for Trey, man. What happened to him?
Oh, shit.
False Stitcher.
Hazel! Mama!
Oh, good Lord. Are you hurt?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Thank God. Can y'all not want to drive out of here?
I got a lot to tell you.
I got time.
Maybe this is where they can build their new house. Oh wow. That last chapter ended pretty abruptly. Wow. Okay. So I'm gonna turn down the volume on this a little bit. Even though this music is fire. This sound like Chloe or a Hallie. Anyways, I'm gonna turn down the volume on this so y'all can hear me a little bit better. So, final thoughts. I think this game deserves a Game of the Year nominee as of right now. I've played Assassin's Creed Shadows. I've played some other games, but this is one of my most anticipated games of the year. Ever since I saw that initial trailer, and saw the art style, I was like hooked immediately. Like I knew that this would be a game I wanted to try out. So for that, I think it lived up to the story. The gameplay, the combat started off, it felt kind of clunky at first, but like once you unlock new abilities and learn how to string together attacks and use them situationally in combat, it felt pretty smooth. The platforming was solid. Everything about this game just was like polished. I had no frame rate issues, only because I was recording. But when I was not recording, I didn't have any frame drops. It ran well. It was smooth. And then obviously the highlight, the biggest thing about this game, the story. The story was just absolutely like amazing. I will say it ended and kind of wrapped up a little bit faster. Like I was expecting us to see a little bit more, but I was so happy that Hazel was able to find her mom. And I think it was nice to have Hazel have the driving force for her to find her mother. And that plot point was interesting enough to keep you pushing because you wanted to save your mom. But all the individual stories in between Hazel finding her mother, like the story about Benji, Laurent's story, what happened to Bunny's daughter and Trey's sister, like all those little stories in between was super enjoyable. And then that I forgot her name, but that lady that lost, that black lady black woman that lost her son, and you reunited them in the afterlife. Like those individual stories within the game were just brilliant, wonderfully executed. And this game didn't overstay its welcome. I feel like if this game was like 20 or 30 hours long, the combat might have felt repetitive, but I think this was like 8 hours, like all the videos I've uploaded and stuff, the gameplay, 8 hours, and there's probably a bunch of stuff I missed by not like exploring all the levels like fully. But this was a solid game, man. And I might end up doing a review. I'm not sure. I probably just took like more, I guess, flesh out my thoughts so I can actually write them down. Like this is just like my raw thoughts right now. But this game was just a solid, fun time, man. A lot of serious moments, a lot of themes about grief, loss, responsibility, and for the most part, these are themes that we've seen in other games, like, you know, finding how to handle grief, understanding empathy, like helping other people. But like it wasn't executed in a corny or sort of tacky or played out way. It actually worked and they executed it well with every single story, man. I think my favorite story, Laurent's story was heartbreaking. Benji's story was heartbreaking. But I think my favorite story outside of Hazel's, I think it's a toss up between Benji, like what happened to him, and Laurent. Like real tragic stuff. Actually, no, I take it back. Hug and Molly's story was the most interesting to me. That arc was the most interesting because you hear Bunny paint her as like an evil, terrible person or monster, and you think she is, but she's actually there helping her mom rescue kids that were damaged by the foster care system. That was probably my favorite story. Seeing what actually happened to Molly, I felt so bad because we kind of beat her up, and then Bunny, I'm glad we got to put her in basically like hell, essentially, like never-ending torment, essentially. So I'm glad she's gone and she's gonna be struggling for eternity. But I was so pissed when she betrayed what's her name, Hazel. And there's something else I want to touch about. So there's certain stuff that I feel like was never finished. We never saw what happened to Benji, or we saw what happened to Benji, but not his brother. I would like to see a conclusion or like an epilogue. Maybe there is one after these credits. But yeah, I enjoyed my time with this game, man. Like it was a solid experience. I just couldn't imagine seeing any game with like a black character and be like, oh, it's woke, I can't play it. And you're missing out on like a really great narrative action platformer that takes you back to like the PS2, PS3 era. Jack and Dexter, Ratchet and Clank, Uncharted, Tomb Raider, like that sort of platforming, like story-driven game, but like wrapped up in like a nice 8 to 10 hour package with amazing art direction, a brilliant story, stellar voice acting. This game was phenomenal. So you might see a video where I try to like, consolidate and make my thoughts a little bit more concise and focused in that full-blown review. But as of right now, I'm gonna take my ass to bed, or actually, I'm not gonna go to sleep. I lied. We're gonna see if there's an epilogue or something, because there's a lot of stuff I feel like in the story that like we didn't know. Like, how did Hazel's dad die? What's gonna happen to all those kids that Hug and Molly was taking care of? Was this like supernaturalness just all the way like always a part of Prospero? Because prior to Hazel, going deeper in the swamp, like she had no idea about any of the supernatural stuff. Also, where's the catfish? He wants to see what happens. So we're gonna go ahead and skip the credits, but I know developers, especially with the amount of hate on the internet nowadays, they don't get the praise they deserve. Shout out to Compulsion Games, everybody who worked on this game. I didn't get no key or anything like that, but they made a really solid experience, and I'm excited to see what their next project is, if they have anything like planned later down the line. My biggest, I guess, critique that I've seen from them in other games that people have talked about from Compulsion Games is that they have interesting stories, amazing art direction, but it always felt like there was something missing, like with their games. Like there'd be a little bit of emptiness in whatever world they're trying to craft, which could have hinted to their lack of resources. But now that Microsoft bought their studio, and I'm assuming gave them the resources they need to craft the vision they wanted, they executed and they delivered. I think this game is going to get a lot of Game of the Year like nominations. Maybe not for Game of the Year, depending on like the other games that come out, but like definitely best music score, definitely best narrative, definitely best art direction or creative direction. I think this game definitely deserves that. From a gameplay perspective, I wouldn't say it was super creative. The boss fights were epic. I just think the art direction and like that, and the story and how they chose to tell it, and a unique original story, that is so hard to do, to tell a unique original story that people actually want to listen to and play through. Because you see Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, Halo 5, Uncharted 4, you see like so many trilogies and not enough new IPs, and games like this need to get praised, man. I know I just spent like the past 5-10 minutes just yapping, but I really did enjoy my time with this game. But we'll see if there's an epilogue or something, some conclusion.
And
Okay.
That's how a new weaver came to be in Prospero.
There's a catfish.
I appreciate it. I gotta get going. Instead, I meet Ma and Laurent for dinner. See y'all later.
Nice. Oh, there's Benji. She was reading to Benji. Hey, man. Like I said, man, what a game. What a fucking game. I feel like... Continue? What happens if you continue? Okay, you just played the last cutscene. All right, I was just curious. But yeah, like I said, solid game. I think it had a pretty, satisfying ending. Thankfully, Hazel got to her mom. I was so worried she wouldn't get to her mom, but the way that ended, they could make another game. They could have Hazel, weave and clear out stigma from other portions of the world of the universe. But I think more so than anything, the biggest thing, and I said it when I was yapping during the end credits, is just the fact they were able to create a unique, interesting world that was original. This game definitely draws heavy inspiration from, action adventure platformers. Like Kena Bridge of Spirits is very similar to this game. You're helping guide spirits and help them move on from the trauma that they've, built up that's preventing them from moving on in the afterlife. Similar things in this story, but like the world, the whole concept of being a weaver, tying it in with like real African American like history and the history of slavery, things that every ordinary Americans, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, could relate to. Working so hard to provide for your family, not having the proper funds or insurance, not even insurance, but like that one story with Laurent and his mom, right? Like if his family was actually going to pay with actual cash, they could have helped save her mom, but because whatever the company they're working for would not pay them and give them things they needed to provide for their mom, she ended up dying. And his dad became an alcoholic, was upset, drank himself to death almost, but ended up getting killed. Like, these are real stories I feel like people can actually connect to, and they did it in a pretty digestible package. Like, this game didn't overstay its welcome. It didn't feel like I was slugging through certain sections. Everything tied together wonderfully. So my personal recommendation, I got this on Game Pass because I've been, what's it called? I think I will end up seeing myself actually buy this game so I can own it. I might even get a poster, but I might get a poster. I might put it as my new background. This game was a true joy to play. And I think my final recommendation, I never give ratings on games like on an out of 10, but I'd say this would be like a 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. But my true recommendation, what I like to like give people, is whether or not it's worth full price. This game is going for like $40, and you can play it on Game Pass for, if you've never gotten Game Pass, it's like $1 for a 2-week free trial or a 2-week trial. And then it's like $12 a month, I think, for PC. I think this game is definitely worth that asking price, whether you pay for it on the Game Pass or you buy the game outright and play it and pay for it for like $40. I think there's more than enough content here to keep you entertained. It's a nice, quick package, and I could see myself playing this game, maybe playing it on a harder difficulty, just to experience some of those moments again. There were so many moments where I got like teary-eyed, but enough yapping. I appreciate you guys for watching this video. And let me know what your thoughts on the game was so far. Did you watch my gameplay? Did you play it yourself? And do you think they'll make another game like this or continue Hazel's story? Who knows? I hope this game sells well. I hope the studio, is able to really capitalize off this moment. And whatever game they make next, they got my full attention. Compulsion Games got my full attention now. And I might see what other games they've made before and check those out too. But I enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you guys next one. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace.